Ooh, I better put that back on the hot plate. Yeah, a little bit cooler. So anyway, this is Russ. Welcome back to the shop. Today I want to introduce you to a new term. Kind of show you why I have a generator and why I was building this portable power unit that I'm building and kind of the scheme of what's going on here. But I have to introduce you to a new phrase. And the phrase is called forced off-grid survival. Forced off-grid survival. Here, let me flash that across the bottom of the screen. Scroll it across there for you. Forced off-grid survival. So, anyway, what? That's the best I can do. I don't edit. Anyway, what we're talking about, what that is, and I'm going to call it FOGS for short. What FOGS is you have, it's a plan that I have for when you lose electrical power. We're very dependent on electrical power. And here at my house, if I lost electrical power, for any length of time, the longer the period of time, the worse it gets. And so if I lose electricity in here for a couple hours, no big deal. But if I lose it for 2 days, I have $600 worth of food that's going to go bad. So, and that would only be the beginning. If the power goes off in the middle of winter, I'm in real trouble. And so is my house. So having the ability to survive on that is kind of something that we should be planning for to a certain extent. No matter where you live, these are things that can happen. And I'm not talking about Armageddon. I'm talking about the type of problem that can hit a community. Like when a hurricane goes across Florida and you may have a whole area that'll be without power for days, weeks, or months. Those things happen. And that can happen to anybody at any time. Here in Wisconsin, it already has happened to me since I moved here about 12 years ago. I've already had it happen. I was between 1 and 2 weeks without power. Yes, I lost a bunch of food in that episode. And so that really made me realize that there is ways to get around it. And talking about that last time, that's a story in itself. I could talk about that, but that's for Rambling Russ. So anyway, you do need to be prepared for that. If you're going to be off for power for a while, there's things that go on, and not only with your life, but the survival of your house that could be in peril and cause some real damage. In the middle of winter, up here, I'd be afraid to how long if I went without power for a week. In my house, all my plumbing would be destroyed. So you have to kind of help do that. So my plan for FOGS is there's 3 categories to it. There's the high power that I need. And that's to run things like my refrigerator, my freezer, my furnace, my well pump, and on and on. There are things like that. And you plan for those. Now, I could turn and pull the generator and fire it up and run it, but you don't really want to run it for 24 hours a day. You want to manage your power. And things like the refrigerators and the furnace, you just run them periodically as you need to and then shut it back down and then shut the generator down because that thing's running half a gallon per hour. So in 24 hours, you're going to use a lot of gasoline, a lot of trips to the gas station. So I would manage that, especially if I'm going to be out of power for a long period of time. And anything over a couple hours, that's a long period of time without power. So having that high power on demand when you need it and manage it is what you want to do. The second type of power you need is what I call on-demand power. Lights are a classic example of that. And for that idea, I'm mostly going to start off with using my Ryobi system, which I always have several batteries. I'm probably going to increase how many I have. And I have a couple of flashlights. I'm probably going to add a couple of fans to that too so that I can stay cooler if it's warm and hot out with no electric power. But that's going to run that type of power for me, the on-demand power that you need. When you walk into a room and it's dark, you got to have a light. So, and these flashlights run for a very long time off of those batteries. So they'll be able to keep up with my lighting needs in the house, I think, without any problem from that. The third type of power you need is your low power stuff, like your computer and your phone charging, maybe a connection to the internet, those types of things, depending on what's still available. I can always tether to my phone and get on the internet from my phone. because chances are I still would be somewhere where I could get phone reception. It seems like Wi-Fi is the first thing they come in with in the disaster area. It seems like Wi-Fi is the first thing they always try to get you, which is always amazing to me because I agree with that. That communication is extremely important to have in an area that doesn't have electrical power. So anyway, the third one is to be able to supply those things. And that is why I have my portable power unit that I'm building. And so those are my 3 phases. They're going to work together. Like I run the generator, and while I'm running the furnace, I might plug in my portable power unit and get it charged up and things like that. I coordinate between them and manage my power based on my needs throughout each day while there's no power. Just think about how bad it could be for you, possibly. And I could think of so many scenarios where, man, it would not be good. Whereas if you had a little bit of idea of managing power so you could stay at home, you might be so much better off. Even if you say, well, my community has a good system, you become a burden on that system when you start depending on it. And plus, if you have to go start living in an auditorium with 150 other families, that gets pretty rough. So if you can survive in your own home, it not only helps you, but it helps that community too. So having a good plan that will hopefully work through what kind of scenario you go through is not a bad idea. Like I said, some areas I probably would have a bug out plan too. Here, I don't have any kind of bug out plan, but it is open for discussion, and maybe that wouldn't be a bad idea to have some kind of plan for a bug out if that happens. I would have a hard time doing that myself, maybe because of my age. I don't know why, but I think sticking it out here is my best hope. So bug out plans, it's off subject. Again, that's a rambling rest thing, probably. So anyway, now that you know what FOGS is, I'm going to take the next video here real quick, and I'm going to do a video showing you my generator and how I have it set up so that you can understand how I use it and how I set it up. It takes 10 minutes for me to start using it here at my house, and I'm ready to go. But it's all put away, out of the way, when I'm not using it, which is the case most of the time. So, and we'll go over the maintenance and things like that real quick. Not going to be a long video, but it's going to be cold because field trip, we're going out into the backyard, and here in southern Wisconsin, we already got snow, and it's not even Thanksgiving yet, and I've seen snow for 2 weeks now. Unbelievable. Anyway, I'm rambling, and I just wanted to talk about power. So I do want to thank you for stopping by. If you like this video, please say so. If you have any comments or any ideas or suggestions, trust me, I'm open to them because this is all new frontier to me. But anyway, thanks for stopping by. Oh, much better. Most importantly, though, please come back again because I'm nowhere near done. We'll see you again soon.